Good risings, dear family. I say good risings or grand risings versus good morn or good morning. Why? I'm not casting no witchcraft on you like the true enemy does. I'm not doing that. Forward always, though, along with my introduction. Wagwan, Jamaican greeting. Hola, so Hispanic greeting. Konnichiwa, Asian greeting. And or shalom, peace and greetings to every melanated man, woman, and child on this planet. BKA, all things which harbor the power of the universal soul's spirit of life, and more importantly, to all of ye which bear the mark of the universal spirit's visible soul skin. I am just a man with the conviction, treading wisely. What is my conviction? And why tread wisely? My one firmly held belief and or one firmly held opinion is that God will have his world, God will have his people moving God's speed forever. Soul speed, one belief. And wisely, because I have the knowledge of the soul's truth, experience in the soul's ways, as well as the good and balanced judgment of them both. And now I desire to deliver or share this knowledge with you by any moral means necessary, using what could be known as Christ logic, or hyperlogic, or balanced logic. Check these words out. I want to make this video to see if I can overwhelmingly and aggressively shatter the fear of every man, woman, and child on this planet. So that's what this video is going to be staged upon, or that's going to be the foundation of this video. Shattering the fear of every man, woman, and child on this planet. How can I do that? First off, know what fear is, have knowledge of fear, have the awareness of what fear is, validate what the word fear even means. Before I go on, I'm going to just say this. Did you know, logically speaking, fear is actually nothing but a metaphor? It's just metaphorical. Fear ain't even real. I'm going to explain why. And hopefully with this explanation being out here, fear, or things that make you scared, or just being a scaredy cat, could be quelled. But at any rate, let's end the fear of every man, woman, and child on this planet real quick. First of all, like I said, awareness of what the word fear means, validate it. The word fear defines as an unpleasant emotion caused by the belief that someone or something is dangerous, likely to cause pain or threat. That's the actual definition of the word fear right there. The literal actual definition of fear is an unpleasant emotion caused by the belief that someone or something outside or someone or something is dangerous, likely to cause pain or threat. That's the actual definition of fear. Now, unpleasant emotion caused by the belief someone or something is dangerous, likely to cause pain or threat. First of all, look at the very first two lines in the definition of fear. An unpleasant emotion caused by the belief. Caused by the belief. Caused by the belief. So that means fear and or unpleasant emotions are only caused by beliefs. So what is a belief? A belief is an acceptance that a statement is true or that something exists. That's all it is. So what statements have you accepted to be true in your life that give you very unpleasant emotions? Get rid of them. Done. But no, I'm going to overwhelmingly do it. So let's talk about some more about it. Fear defines as an unpleasant emotion caused by the belief that someone or something is dangerous, likely to cause pain or threat. If it's caused by the belief, then that means that someone outside of you had to put the statement and or had to convince you that this thing exists in order to give you an unpleasant emotion, correct? Because here's the reality. You're not born with unpleasant emotions, especially if it has to be caused by the belief, right? Think about it. The anahata. I'm going to say this real quick. I have been butchering some words. I don't mean to do it. It's like I said, all the information and things that I need to tell you, a lot of things are connected with what I need to tell you. And I didn't really have the time to honestly master and study everything I needed to tell you. So I'm just pushing it. Everything I know, just throwing it out here, all of it. Whether it goes viral or not, I don't care. Just whatever idea I got, I'm just going to put it on the table. In reality, there's a high probability that I'm not going to be able to do anything I'm saying I'm going to do at all. Nothing. But here's the thing. Just by me saying it out loud, putting it on the table for everybody to eat off of, if they choose to eat off of it, will benefit somehow. That's all I know. Main thing I know, should I say. But at any rate, let's keep on overwhelmingly and aggressively shattering the fear of every man, woman, and child on this planet. What is fear? An unpleasant emotion caused by the belief that someone or something outside of you is dangerous, likely to cause pain or threat. Let's look at the unpleasant emotion for a second. What is an emotion? An emotion is a natural, instinctive state of mind deriving from one's own mood, one's own circumstances, and or one's own situation with others. Meaning, first of all, a natural, instinctive state of mind. That's enough right there to label and describe what an emotion is. That's enough right there. Deriving from, why is that even there? How can your emotion derive from someone else? No one is responsible for your own feelings. No one is responsible for the way you feel. Only you are. I question everything. I question the definitions of everything. I question the wording or the text of everything. I question the Bible. I question it all. Question everything, right? Isn't that what our people keep telling us to do anyways? Question everything. I did that. And I found out the answers to virtually everything. Not all things, just enough that I need to know to tell y'all what some good things y'all need to hear. Do what needs to be done now and figure the rest out later. Here's enough of what needs to be done, what needs to not be known as to what can be done now. An emotion defines as a natural, instinctive state of mind. It's not deriving from anyone else. It's just a natural, instinctive state of mind. Period. I question everything. Now, you could say deriving from one's own mood or one's own circumstances. But as far as the situation with others, no one's responsible for your emotions. Only you are. Care for them. So I'm going to just keep it at a natural, instinctive state of mind for a moment to label and describe how fear is only a metaphor. And anything involving fear is metaphorical. A natural, instinctive state of mind. So what is fear now? Using these more dissected words. Fear is an unpleasant, natural, instinctive state of mind caused by the acceptance that a statement is true from someone or something outside of you, likely to cause pain or threat or dangerous. But still, the statement has to get to your mind in order to cause the unpleasant emotion, right? Forward always. So, if the statement was not accepted, then would the unpleasant state of mind be? That's just common sense, right? Be fearless. What are some examples of statements that cause unpleasant state of minds? What are some examples of it? Statements from the oppression, like our species is going extinct. That's the statement that they accept as true. that gives them an unpleasant state of mind right there, right? Logically speaking, though, that is impossible. Why? Because they are all just like us. They just have a different acceptance of statements in their head. Imagine if we all had one statement to accept. What would we be like? Just wonder sometimes. Just going to keep on speaking this global village into existence, but forward always. Forward always. An unpleasant, meaning a disturbing or bad state of mind caused by an acceptance that a statement is true or that something exists from someone or something outside of you. Danger is likely to cause pain or a threat. Your natural instinctive state of mind, let's talk about that for a second. Emotion. The anahata. As I was saying earlier, I've been pushing information out here. I've been butchering some names. I've been doing my best to just reset or redo some videos. There was one that was actually taken down though so far. Principles of Thyself. But word of advice. If you're going to do anything like this, look up how to pronounce words. Simple fix. There's a lot of stuff out here intentionally for us to have. You're all going to figure out the same things I did. You're all going to come full circle to this truth. You all are. You're going to win. You're going to do great. You're going to be protected. You're going to be safe somehow. But at any rate, I've been saying the anahata for the heart chakra. That's what the anahata is. I want y'all to hear those words for a second. The anahata, the anahata, the anahata. Hear that? Hear those words for a second. That's another name for the heart chakra, or another name for the soul chakra, or another name for the subconscious mind, or another name for who I personally see as God, the power inside of us all. That's who I see as God, the creator of the universe. I see as the power inside of humanity that gives us life. What is power? Power is simply the ability to do something or to act in a particular way, especially as a faculty or quality. That's what the literal definition of power is, and that's how I see power. Just what it literally means. That's how I see power. No power hungriness here. I just see the word power for what it really means, the ability to do something. You want to know what the power inside of us has the ability to do? Give us life, like our Creator does, right? Now hear the word for a second. Another name for the heart chakra is the anahata. 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 If you think about that and you hear the way it sounds, like when you hear the Jamaican greeting, Wagwan. When you hear the Jamaican greeting, Wagwan. When you listen to it a little bit slower, Wagwan. It's almost like you're saying, "What's going on?" really quickly, right? What's going on? Wagwan. What's going on? Wagwan. You see? When you hear the word anahata, 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 when you kind of sort of slow it down, the way you say it properly in Sanskrit, because that's how you properly say that word in Sanskrit. I looked it up, how to pronounce it. Just want to make sure I get all the information correct. When you say that word, slow it down a little bit. It'll sound like you're saying in our hearts, 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 in our hearts. It sounds similar to it. May not sound exactly the same, but it sounds similar from what I'm gathering. Now, here's why I say this. When you do more studying and more research on where the true God's power actually resides, you'll find out that the true God's energy is unstruck, unhurt, and unbeaten. That's what you will find out, because you will realize it, because you're living in it now. A reality where there's no true God beating on you or killing you or hurting you. And it's actually been your power inside of you giving you life this whole time. But at any rate, it's associated. The energies, or because the energy simply defines as, and I said this many times, The strength and vitality to function. That's what energy is. Strength and vitality to function. The energy that the true God inside of us is associated to balance, calmness, and serenity, right? Never altering from that state at all. The true God inside of us has never altered from that state at all. Remember, fear is something that is caused by the belief. Someone has to make you believe. Here's an example of, as I was saying, I'm going to give another example for the oppressors before I move on. Because let's not forget, in order to have actual fear, your mind has to be in balance. Because fear is metaphorical. Your heart is untouched. It's just good all the time. So therefore, it can't be unpleasant, is what I was ultimately getting to. Your heart cannot be unpleasant. So therefore, your fears are all in your head, just metaphorical. Depending on how you believe. How do you gain fears? Here's an example right here. Jump scares, right? Something that just whoosh in front of your face. Just whoosh in front of your face, right? What makes you scared of things like that? Think about when you were a child and you were watching a cartoon and you see the person on the cartoon shivering at something, terrified of it, right? But it's only terrified of it because it's being drawn into your face as it is in terror, or something you can label and describe as terror, right? And then the minion or the attacker or the aggressor is coming to do something, jump scare. And due to you seeing her reaction or its reaction in terror, it registers in your mind to be afraid of something similar to that. Or it registers in your mind to react as that character is reacting to that aggressor. This is how fear gets established. And then when you go in real life, due to how many times you may have saw that one clip or image, I was having another good conversation with my brother. I look forward to introducing y'all to this brother of mine that I speak of highly. I speak of him quite a lot. I won't say his name for safety reasons, or if there is a need for safety reasons, but at any rate, moving forward always, I meant to say. We were having a conversation talking about the word television, or he asked me, what's the first thing that comes to your mind when you hear the letters TV? Now, he explained his ideology on it, but the first thing that came to my mind was what the word says: tell a vision. TV is the reason why you have certain fears. The visions they tell you, or the visions that this so-called structure of ours, the visions that they put in our heads, the visions that they put on our boxes, the visions they tell us. They gave you your fears, all of them. What are some more statements that you accept that give you an unpleasant state of mind if they were to trigger or arise? Fear God. But God is a pleasant emotion, so how can you actually logically fear him? You can't, can you? I don't think you people get what you are being told to do, but you will eventually. Just stay alive and well so you can. Be safe. It's not being taken from me. But forward always. Logically speaking, my family, the true God can't even be feared. You can't actually even fear my family. You can't logically, literally fear. You just can't. Your emotion cannot be unpleasant. Only your beliefs can. Imagine if you all only believed one thing. I didn't want to make this video too long. I just wanted to drop the explanation of how to overwhelmingly and aggressively quell fears. That's going to be the name of this video. Fear quelling. Or the quelling of all fears. Or the principle of fear quelling. Or the principle of quelling fears. What does quelling mean? Put it into. That's simple. But at any rate. Or forward always. Switching the words up. Or switching the usual taglines up. So forward always. I'm about to close this video out. I got 4 lines I'm going to use for this video's closeout. But first, remember, fear is not real. Be fearless. It only defines as an unpleasant emotion caused by the belief that someone or something is dangerous, likely to cause pain or threat. The dissected definition: fear defines as an unpleasant, natural, instinctive state of mind caused by an acceptance that a statement is true from someone or something outside of you that is dangerous, likely to cause pain or threat. Only you decide what to be fearful of. Be fearless, because you can't even do it, because your emotions can't even be unpleasant. Just be the best version of yourself. Be the best version that you can be, period. At any rate, moving forward. 12 soul words. Soul speed, soul first. Soul freedom, soul liberation, soul sovereignty, soul coexistence, soulful principles, soulful balance, soulful standards, soulful tranquility, soul speed, soul first, soul theocracy, and my soul tribe is going to take over your world. Wahaha. I don't desire to be your king or your leader. I desire to protect you. Just going to say the words out loud. It's just going to put the ideas in somebody's head. As I was saying earlier, too, before I finish this out. Whether I even get a chance to wrestle the tribes next year, don't matter. The idea is still out here. Somebody else may do it. Just because I said it out loud. Don't care if these thoughts get stolen. They're only going to do one thing. Lead you all to soul freedom. My soul tribe is going to take over your world. What do I mean by that? It's going to take over your minds. It's going to get you all to just have one belief. I don't desire to be your king or your leader. I desire to defend and protect you. Therefore, my people, be lifted in the spirit and walk good forever. Peace, love, unity, and advancement to you all.